If you have any questions or concerns about this week's episode, please call or text producer Dan at 778-288-9255.
Start the party, Dan! It's time to turn it up. We're getting crazy, going wild, talking nasty stuff. Dudes scrolling hell sites, hot dumpster fire. Boom, roast, mad posts, sticking up the replies. We don't want to go to school, we don't want to get a job. We just want to get online and get our asses blocked. We don't follow the rules, we do whatever we want. It's Block Party, the podcast like we're tweeting a duck. Block Party, Block Party, Block Party, my missus is fucked. Block Party, Block Party, Block Party, I quote tweeting a duck.
Hello, friends, idiots, and friends who are also idiots. Welcome to your favorite podcast about social media and rejection. It is Block Party. This is episode number 259. I'm John.
I'm Stefan.
And with us is a great guest, our first ever in Calgary studio guest.
Yeah.
So Stefan is not here, but our guest is here, which is very exciting.
I'm interested to see what the vibe is going to be like.
I think it's going to be high.
Yeah, I think
It's
so.
going to be high.
Yeah.
I agree. It's
she's
going to be high.
Okay, Dan.
Dan. She's a very funny comedian. Just released her second album, Break and Enter. Brittany Lyseng is here. Hi, Brittany.
Hi, Brittany.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. This is great. How do you feel about this setup, Brittany? It is a little bit, we look like we're sort of like schoolmates sitting at the same desk.
I feel like I'm cheating off you in a test.
Yeah, because you can see my laptop too with where I have the webcam.
I feel like I'm the dumbest kid and you're the smartest kid, and you're like, they can tell we're cheating. And I'm just sitting
But
there.
so like I'm letting you cheat off
you're
me
like,
in this
just
scenario.
write it down.
You're not like
Yes.
hovering with your arm, like you're
No.
like yeah.
I'm just kind of like, I'm cool with you, and I just like let you cheat off me.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I bully you.
In elementary school, you definitely would have bullied me if you wanted to. Were you kind of a bully?
No, not, yeah, a little bit. I don't know if you can tell by my rolled up sleeves, but I'm pretty tough.
Yes.
That is a bully move for sure. is the
rolling up my
sleeve.
sleeves. Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
I just feel like I was, I wasn't as smart as the other kids, so I bullied them, and whatever.
That's fair. I was smarter than
That's
most
how
other
I
kids.
lash out at John on this show. Is by bullying him.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, it's just kind of crazy because there's no way you didn't get bullied.
No, but like I think I'm making up for lost time. You know what I mean? Like now.
because like you were mad that you didn't get
I
too
missed out
bullied.
on it. I didn't get to be cruel to anybody, you know?
Right.
And now I can do it to one of my best friends. By the way, it's November 1st when we're recording this.
Yes.
And I have wished you a happy birthday in several mediums, but
yes.
I haven't wished you a happy birthday like with my voice. Oh no, I guess I did on the stream yesterday, but
Yes,
you
did.
haven't heard me do it like live. So John, happy birthday, which was yesterday, October 31st.
Thank you. And when this episode comes out, it will be a week ago.
Yeah, but that's fine.
I forgot to wish you a happy birthday, so happy birthday, John.
Did you not wish me a happy birthday yesterday?
No.
Oh, he did.
Wow.
And he did.
Where?
I was drunk playing pinball all day yesterday.
What is the what is
Yeah,
this? What is this fucking
I need to know
pinball
about
thing?
this,
Because you're sort of like not doing work anymore, and you're just playing pinball. So like, what's going on?
Oh, you've noticed that, huh?
Yeah. I noticed it when I was like, "Hey, where's the episode?" And you're like, "Oh, I'm playing pinball right now." So
Are you good at pinball, Dan?
I'm trying to be.
Now, where are you? Like, you don't have to dox where you're going, but there's one place in downtown Vancouver I'm thinking of that has a lot of pinball tables. Are you going
I'll
there?
say I've mostly been playing at home, but yesterday I went to the American and
Okay.
played some
Yeah.
tables there.
what do you mean at home? Like, there's a place near you that has a pinball table.
I've downloaded a pinball emulator.
You're playing.
Wait, are you fucking kidding me? That's how you say you're getting better at pinball? You're playing a pinball emulator?
Do you have like
Yeah.
controls for it or something, or are you just using your keyboard?
Well, I'm using my keyboard, but I'm gonna build like an arcade style controller with motors in it and shit.
That is sick. That is actually quite cool.
Yeah.
Okay. The two bullies over there are shaking their
yeah.
heads.
I'm not a bully, we've established.
Oh,
John
I
doesn't
am.
drink, so he doesn't get it.
I mean, I was just expecting that it was going to be like, you were going out to play pinball.
I thought you were as well. Like, so the American has a lot of pinball tables.
Yeah, they have like a lot of modern ones. They're all like from the last few years.
Yeah, they don't have like, because like, what are the really like classic ones? Like, I know like the Addams Family one is apparently a legendary
the
pinball
Terminator,
table.
I think, or
Yeah.
Terminator
2.
2.
Yeah.
Addams Family
Beetlejuice.
classic.
Oh,
Yeah.
Beetlejuice, yeah.
Oh
Those
yeah,
are good ones.
Attack from Mars is another big one.
I feel like the American has one. It has like Game of Thrones and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, they've got like Stranger Things. They've got the new Foo Fighters table that like just
There's a
came
Foo
out.
What?
Fighters?
Yeah,
What?
it's actually really fun. But yeah, it's a Foo Fighters. They got a.
You
Foo
look like
Fighters
Dave. You
pinball
look very
table.
Dave Grohl-esque, Dan.
That's actually I can
Yeah,
sort
no
of
one
see
has
that.
ever really said that before. But
I think
you're
that's
right.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a little bit hotter than I am.
Dan is also an
but-
HIV
sure, Dan.
denialist. So
He's
A what? I'm sorry? I don't even know what that is.
a nihilist. You ever seen the dude?
have you seen? No. I said he's an HIV denialist, like Dave
Oh,
Grohl.
deny.
Oh, an HIV. Oh, right. I forgot.
I also
Yeah.
heard nihilist,
I
but
heard-
both's
Yeah,
good.
well, he's a nihilist also.
Oh,
but-
he's got HIV, but he doesn't care about it.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
yeah, he's only in denial about his own HIV.
Yeah.
He's
That
a
is one of those-
nihilist about denial.
That did come about again recently. I saw people posting about it, but like it was like a known thing a while ago that they like funded a bunch of like HIV denialist charities and stuff, which is like super crazy.
It
But
was mostly because of the guitarist, I think.
yeah, but the pinball table was good.
It was fun, yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
You didn't
Yeah.
catch anything from the pinball table?
No, I
Was it
haven't.
like
Oh, he's
Noodles
going to
poking
deny
out?
it if he did. Yeah.
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 I don't deny anything.
Uh, okay. Well,
He's a nihilist.
Yeah, that's true.
exactly.
Yeah.
exactly.
what are you good at like in-person pinball, Dan?
I'm
You're
all
getting
right
better,
at
I
it, yeah.
guess.
Like
Yeah.
I'm getting noticeably better at in person by playing the emulator, so it's helping.
Okay. All right.
How? Okay, that makes no sense to me. It's
Yeah,
a
I
completely
agree with
different
that.
thing. How is playing pinball on the computer making you better at real life?
Are you
pinball?
emulating the same tables that you're playing so you kind of
Yeah.
understand them better? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The community will like recreate the tables very, very.
That's pretty
detailed.
cool. I see, because what I was picturing was like the free like Microsoft Windows pinball with like the
No,
spaceship.
it's like actually good.
Oh, that's kind of sick. Okay.
Anything that starts with the community.
That is true.
The pinball community's
Yeah.
really reaching out
Yeah, the
lately.
virtual pinball community.
Are you on any pinball subreddits, Dan?
No,
But are you?
no, they're
close?
still on forums. It's a bunch of 60-year-old men.
Oh,
who do
okay,
It,
I was-
so they're all.
Oh, you're on pinball forums.
That's
Oh, yeah.
better. I
Is that
guess.
better?
I don't know if
It's
that's
better.
better.
for sure.
I do kind of respect a hobby where the main place to post about it is like an old like message board.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a V Bulletin forum that's been
Yeah.
around since 2005.
I respect that. That's good because I don't post on it, but I read like HF boards, which is like a hockey forum that's been around since like 2002 or whatever.
Yeah, I posted on there when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's still going. I mean, it's kind of a big broken piece of shit now, but it's still kind of refreshing to go there, especially
It was
with how-
never, wasn't it always a broken piece of
It's
shit?
always been-
given
it is.
given who's on there.
Well, I mean, look, I will say HF boards is like smarter than like, the subreddit or like hockey Twitter in general, I would say.
Do the
But
Canucks still have their own forum? Where did they get rid
no,
of
that got shut down. The
Right.
team shut it down for some reason, but I don't know.
They were
So,
embarrassed of themselves.
I think
Yeah.
probably.
I can think of a few reasons why they might have shut down a Canucks message board.
Well,
They're just throwing virtual lit on fire garbage cans.
literally,
In the
apparently, one of the reasons is that like they would. They didn't say who it was specifically, but there was like an article about the board shutting down, and someone in management or ownership was like, "You have to like take down these." Like this was a while ago, but like you have to take down these posts that are critical of the team. And then if the last like 5 or 6 years, it was just like all entirely pro Canuck stuff, which is very funny.
It's just Trevor Linden by himself in a
Yeah.
basement.
Yeah. I'm very intrigued by the pinball stuff. This is a
I'm not.
development.
I'm gonna be
'cause
honest. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, you're a fucking dickhead, John.
I'm not a dickhead. I just want you to do your job. That's all. And your job is not playing pinball, Dan.
I'm
But what
sure
if he's-
Jesse would like that too.
What if? Oh well, yeah, he would. I think. What if you start making money from pinball? Like, can you like bet on
How the
pinball?
fuck
or
is
what?
that gonna happen?
Well, I don't know. Why else are you doing it? For fun?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. All right. Well, fair
because I have
enough, yeah.
nothing else to do with my time.
Can you actually?
Are you gonna like Twitch stream it then?
Oh,
I've
that
been
would be good.
streaming it a bit, yeah.
Okay.
But is
I-
that like illegal because you emulated the tables? Like, would Twitch pull that
Probably,
down?
I don't know.
I mean, we stream emulated shit all the like. The emulated shit is like no one cares.
I think I don't mean the emulator itself. I mean like,
like
the
Twitch?
pinball
Oh.
companies would be mad that you're
I think
like,
at this point they don't care as long as the machines aren't actively being made, which is like most of them at this point.
Right.
oh,
They-
I see.
They stop making them pretty quickly after. Like they only do a single production run usually.
Right.
I see. So people
Wow.
don't get mad if you emulate the Terminator 2 table because they haven't made that for like 20 years.
Yeah, but you can't, like, for example, emulate the Foo Fighters table yet because it just came out like 6 months ago.
That's so. Why did they just release a pinball table 6 months ago? That's fucking insane.
It was
you bring
designed
it
by
up?
a Twitch streamer, actually.
Can we look at the Foo Fighters pinball table?
Yeah, I need to see this.
Have a
actually.
look.
What
Okay.
if you had a block party
Oh,
theme table?
that could be fun, right? Because like I think
The bumpers would be really small.
you could. Okay. Well, look.
Just giant heads, just the pinballs.
Yes.
Fucking...
Our giant heads are the bumpers. And then Stefan, the paddles, are the flippers. What the fuck they call those? Those would be like small little penises.
Yeah, I think
Stefan's
that's
little-
right.
Stefan's little wang.
Because I do like I don't like go out of my way to play pinball, but if there's a pinball table around, it's like I might go play it, right? And like it is fun seeing how they've like the I guess like the flavor, so to speak, of the table, where it's like how does this like match like the show or movie it's based on, right? But the Foo Fighters one is like it's just I guess they have like UFOs and stuff because like Foo Fighters is like a reference to that, but
Dan, can you go down? I want to read this description here. More than 2 years in the making, and with creative input from the band's own Dave Grohl, Nate Mendel, Pat Smear, Chris Shiflett, Rami Jaffe, and the late great Taylor Hawkins, Stern's Foo Fighters is a top-shelf pinball machine and so much more.
it's not so much more. It's a pinball table.
And this is the thing. They're inventing like an entire new universe has been developed with jaw-dropping hand-drawn artwork and custom animations, including Foo Fighters Saturday Morning Action Time, a fictional TV series chronicling the band's quest to save rock and roll and the world.
Oh my god, this is
Fuck
$7,000 by the way,
Oh, this is fucking.
and they only made 1,000 of them. So
That's stupid, dude.
is this like is Stern Pinball? Is that are they like the big cheese, Dan, in pinball?
Yeah, they're the only ones that are still going. Like Bally
Wow.
and Williams are both dead.
Okay.
Mm.
Oh, let's see what else they have. They have okay, let's see. Games. They've got a Venom one. That makes sense. I feel
You
like.
think
That
the
one's really
10th
good.
Like the 10th like when you get a bonus round, it's just a speedball that.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
Do you think that's the theme or no?
I feel like
I don't know. We might
sounds
have
like-
to edit that out, but
It sounds like it's the cartoon thing.
yeah. Sounds like it's more just they're having fun in space.
Oh, okay, I get
it, I get
and it plays some of the Foo Fighters songs.
Oh, got it,
Brittany
got
is
it.
what I see. I think what's
A lot of the
going
ones
on.
here
Got it.
do make sense in terms of pinball tables. Like Venom makes sense. 007.
Oh, 007. Okay, I would play a
Mandalorian.
007 table.
The Godzilla one
table.
looks really sick. Legitimately,
Yeah,
I like
the
the
Godzilla one is
one.
like the American, and it's very fun.
Elvira's
Does it
House
play
of Horrors.
the
That could be
the
fun.
Brain Stew Green Day remix? Because that would be great. Or Godzilla remix, I mean, by Green Day.
No, it doesn't have that. It does have Blue Oyster Cult's Godzilla on it, though.
Oh, wow.
Okay, that's not bad. But
Yeah.
I would prefer the
It might have it. I didn't scroll through.
Brain
the
Stew is
songs.
pretty sick. It's just basically the song Brain Stew, but then with Godzilla noises in it. Have you heard it, Stefan?
No.
It's great.
Wow.
You know the song Brain Stew.
I'm sure I do. I just don't know it off the top
They'll
of
just
my
be playing the song, and then it'll just be like,
It's really good.
Godzilla roar.
Have you,
That's my Godzilla impression.
John? Have
Do
you
guys
seen
like it?
any Godzilla movies?
No, definitely not.
Damn, I wonder if you'd like them.
I doubt it.
I don't know. I feel like maybe you would.
I would only like that one because the soundtrack is iconic.
Right.
Godzilla 2000, I think. Right? Is that what it was? called?
Oh, the Matthew Broderick one.
Yes.
Yeah, the worst one.
Yeah, that's got like it's got the Puff Daddy sampling "Cashmere" by
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin. Come with me.
Yeah,
It's also got "No."
I do
Shelter.
honestly. I do like that song.
"No Shelter," Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
It's also got "Heroes," the cover of "Heroes" by David Bowie by
And-
the Wallflowers.
And I mean, you haven't seen it, but it does set itself up very clearly for a sequel. At the end of the movie, they show
but they
a bunch,
never did it.
they show a bunch of the eggs like hatching in
They
Madison
wanted to do
Square Garden.
Godzilla 2002.
Yeah, it just never happened, unfortunately.
Are you a Godzilla person, Brittany?
I don't think so. No.
Have you
Like-
seen any of them?
Like I think I have, in over the years, but nothing was like,
Yeah,
I don't
it never
remember.
stuck out.
No, I probably saw it when I was a kid, and then I never
Right.
really.
I just feel like I always thought, even when I was a kid, I thought it was stupid. Like,
What do
I
you mean
like,
it was
this is-
stupid?
Like, oh, it's a big monster that like fights a city. Like, whatever, man.
And
Yeah.
they still, I like that they still like. Isn't the girl like Godzilla's love interest? Like, isn't she's like that
Oh,
tiny?
is she?
She like climbs him, and then she's
Oh,
like,
like a human girl?
yeah,
What?
yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Does Godzilla fuck a woman in this?
I think she's some broad. So all about him.
In which one? Wait,
I don't know.
I think maybe I made that up. Maybe that was
Yeah.
just what I wanted.
I don't know if there's one where
Maybe
Like,
I was.
I would have liked Godzilla a lot more if he plowed a girl
I
at the
did.
end of it.
If he was smashing some broad halfway through, but I just felt boring. I was like, I get it. He crushes buildings. He's misunderstood. They just.
That's
wanna
what I'm saying.
it's-
Is that a thing that he's misunderstood?
That's what.
oh, he
I-
is misunderstood.
He's misunderstood.
No, my God.
He is
Well, he's
misunderstood.
he's just like when you have a big friend who just clunks into things.
Yeah, it's not his fault.
He's
You
just,
know your big friend. Godzilla's like your big friend.
I have a friend who's just like lived with me for a little while, and he's like 6'5", like he's just a big guy, and you can just hear him doing stuff. Like
That's basically the plot of Godzilla.
yeah,
It
I'm
is,
like,
yeah.
I've never heard anybody brush their teeth from 3 stories down. Like it was just you could hear him
Yeah.
doing stuff, and that's what I really equated that to Godzilla's.
I think I
feeling.
would be more into Godzilla if it was just that. If it was like, oh, here's this giant lizard, but he's got to try to live.
Oh God, he's
As
just,
opposed to like, oh, he's destroying Japan. Oh,
just every toilet's too small for him when he goes into a place.
oh that's
His-
like a good 10-minute scene right
His
there.
little legs just hit him in the forehead trying to pee. You know.
I would love that. Doesn't he? He fights some monsters in a lot of them, right?
Oh,
I know
yeah,
there's
a lot of
there's
times he's, like-
Mothra.
He's like
and then-
helping, not necessarily helping, but it's like, you know, he kills like the other bad monster. And then
I
kind
see.
of
So
goes
it's like
away.
the idea is the other monsters are worse
Yeah.
than he is, and he like kills other.
Sometimes he
monsters.
helps. Yeah. Sometimes he does help.
But he's
in-
like Lenny from Monsters. He's like
Yeah.
the little mouse. Like
Yes,
Yeah.
from Of Mice and Men.
Of Mice and Men,
Yes, yes.
he's
the bunnies.
he's petting Ghidorah, like which I think is the 3-headed like Hydra monster, and he's like
Ghidorah?
and he breaks all of the 3 necks at once. Yeah. Yeah. See, I know literature, John.
That's you think this is literature?
I think Lenny breaking the rabbit's neck is literature because he does that, right?
It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you
so
didn't bring that up. You brought up a different thing.
I thought we said Of Mice and Men just now, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Brittany and I were talking
but that's
about
what I'm
Of
saying.
Mice and
I was
Men,
making
and
a
you were
rep-
like,
but-
oh, and then in Godzilla, he also breaks a guy's neck.
that was the fucking joke. That's a reference. He's like petting the monster and breaks the monster's neck, is what I'm saying. Like with
But
the
how does
rabbits.
that make you literary?
Because it's a fucking literary reference.
Yeah, but you didn't make the literary reference. We
But I-
described the literary reference to
Yes.
you, and then you said something that was like that.
Yes,
that's not
but that's
you
still
making
making
a
a
literary
literature.
reference.
Yeah, it's from literature, is it not?
Yeah, but you didn't bring that up. You weren't like, "Hey, there's this scene that's like Of
But I
Mice and Men."
correctly,
We
but I
started-
correctly.
But that's not a literary reference.
Yes, it is. I
No, it's
correctly.
not.
I understood what was being referenced and correctly continued the reference. That is right.
That is not right.
Stefan's right, John. I'm sorry.
No,
Thank
he's
you, Dan.
not.
Yeah.
That is. Oh my god.
If I had gotten it wrong, you would have said I got the reference wrong.
If we explain something from a book and then you
Yeah.
say something else that's like the thing from a book,
Yes,
that
that's
is
a
not
reference.
you making a literary reference.
It absolutely is.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Brittany Dar, whose side are you on?
What John's? Because also,
Because you're sitting right here
yeah,
in the White
yeah,
House.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, oh God,
He's
yeah,
getting
I
angry,
super agree
yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
I'm right.
Uh,
Anyway, it's fine. I was actually, Stefan, I was on a literature podcast
Okay.
like a week ago. The
Why wasn't I
Talking-
in
Okay, I'm on John's side now.
the talking poem podcast.
The talking poem.
The talking poem.
All right.
And it was funny because I'm not dumb, obviously, but I'm definitely
No.
not smart. We've
You're
done the show.
You're smart enough.
We've done the show 259 times. No smart person would ever do that. So, but yeah, it's one of our listeners, Charlie, is a professor at Cornell and has a podcast about poetry. And he was like, "Hey, you've brought up literature on the show a few times. You want to come on my podcast and talk about poems?" I was like, "I guess." And then I think I did okay. I think I sounded sort of smart.
Yeah, you're capable of sounding
You just
smart.
Googled Irish poems before you.
Yes, it was we did Emily Dickinson because I
okay.
could not stop for death.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. Do you guys either of you finish that line?
No.
Okay, yeah. But you're over there making literary references, Stefan,
Yeah.
but you can't remember one of the most iconic lines in poetry history.
Okay, say it again. Say it again.
Because I could not stop for death.
Just a sec. I'm thinking.
As Stefan is typing this up on his computer.
Well, first of all, it's a lyrical poem.
That's not
Published in 1890.
That's what
That's definitely what I was asking.
Yeah. So first of all, it's that.
Okay. So you do know your poetry a little bit.
Yeah, and then I would say the line you said after that, it would be maybe, and just off the dome, he kindly stopped for me.
That is right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The carriage held but just ourselves and immortality. And I can keep going here from my mind.
From your memory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aside
Yeah.
from the part like 2 minutes ago where you didn't remember it, but now all of a sudden you
Well,
do.
because there's so many poems kind of floating around up here.
Right.
And it was like,
Can you name one other poem?
yeah.
You genuinely could not name a poem off the top of your head. Like if I
about,
just said, "What's the title of a poem?" You couldn't name one.
Okay. The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you look that up, or you actually?
I
did
actually
that?
know that one.
From Treehouse of Horror on The Simpsons.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't want anybody to think I'm reading, but when I always remember stuff left to right. My eyes dart left to right.
Yeah.
when I'm remembering poems.
Yeah, I'm never.
That's how I
I'm
think.
never sort of
I'm
like
thinking.
scratching my head or
Yeah.
kind of like
No.
looking off into the distance. It's
Left-
always a sort of reading type motion.
Yeah. I
Or could you name a poem, Brittany?
no, because now I feel like I'm like stressed right out about it, and I can't.
I'm like bringing you back to your high school days.
Yeah, that's what happened when I couldn't read out loud, and now it's all flooding back to me in a traumatic way. I'm like, oh god, no wonder I bullied people for no reason. I just punch you. I'm like, you can't remember a poem. Your head's too big. Storm out of here.
I'm done. I'm never doing this podcast again.
I hate you and I hate this.
It was really weird. Like Brittany came over to my house and she started punching me. It was really fucked up.
You know, love punches.
Yeah.
Yeah, hitting.
Yeah. Did you not do like any English in school, Stefan? What was your degree again? Art history or something?
No, it was
stupid
Greek
like
and
that?
Roman studies. I did poems and
Greek.
shit. I just forgot all of it.
Greek and Roman studies.
I don't remember. I remembered nothing.
So
in school.
okay. So Greek and Roman. So you obviously would know like the title of Ovid's collection of poetry. Then.
No, I didn't do very much literature stuff. I mostly did like boats.
Yeah, they didn't have any way for you to study trains in university. So you
This
had
is the
to study
closest
boats
thing. The
instead,
trains
yeah.
of ancient Greek times. You know. Now,
Yeah, they're-
what did you do for your birthday, John? Because it's your first birthday in Calgary. You have
Changing
a
the
Halloween
subject.
birthday.
Changing the subject.
Well, of course, yeah. You're making me look like a fool. So
The fool is kind of a big, well, they're not the fool, but rather the jester, sort of a big character in what Shakespeare plays, Stefan.
what? I don't.
Oh, I'm just trying to have some fun with you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just,
I can hear that. The clacking of the keys.
I was gonna. It's there's one, the Tempest, right? And King
that's
Lear.
not- King Lear, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a
Jester's
jester.
Pretty central character in King Lear, though.
Yeah, but there's jesters involved in a lot of his other shit. So
Not really.
yeah.
Everything in my body regrets making an Of Mice and Men reference 26 days ago.
This is the whole show. This is basically the whole
Yeah,
show.
this is we fooled you. We told you it was a show about the internet, but it's actually very literature focused, and it's mostly me talking about literature.
Well,
and
it's
Stefan
more
not
that I
knowing
will
it.
just obsessively like grab onto like so you'll make one like you'll toss one reference that you're not, and I'll just like it's just like all I can think of now.
I think it's an intervention to everyone's going to find out I can't read. Is what this is. This is where I come out on this podcast is I haven't been able to read for 37 years.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it's
Are you dyslexic?
probably.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
dyslexic. No, I
Okay.
can read. I can read.
Okay, try reading this
No!
poem by Ovid. No. My birthday was good. It was pretty like
you got
this
some
was
nice
our first.
kombucha I saw.
Yeah,
That looked good.
yeah, it was really funny. Becca and I were at this like organic food store or whatever.
Yeah.
And we saw that they had it was like a kombucha in like a wine bottle.
Oh,
And they were trying to make it sound like they said it was a rosé kombucha. And
That's
then
interesting.
they had another wine-based flavor as well. I can't remember what it was. And it was branded as like a luxury kombucha in a wine bottle. And it was $20. And we both thought that was hilarious that it was so expensive and funny that it was luxury kombucha. So we just have like a laugh whenever we leave. And then, of course, Becca surprises me with a bottle of that for her for my
Luxury
birthday.
kombucha.
Yeah, so I had luxury kombucha last night. It was fine. It was like a decent kombucha, but definitely like way too expensive.
Yeah.
I was saying to Becca, like if it was like 12 or $15, then maybe, the odd time it's just fun to have like a wine bottle to open, whatever. But for $20, I mean.
I feel like kombucha is always like the list of flavors, and they're like, here's the way we tried to make this not taste like vinegar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
We try, yeah. This one's hibiscus.
Yeah.
And then you're like, with a side notes of it all tastes like vinegar to me.
How many different kombuchas have you had?
John's a big
300
kombucha guy. So.
372.
Wow.
I
Okay.
like
You're like, I have a whole list.
Wow.
I like it. I like vinegar.
Right,
So
okay.
it's I know there's no vinegar in there, but it does taste very
Yeah, it's
vinegar
got the
forward.
fermented.
It's got
kind
that a
of-
little
Yeah.
bit. I
But I
definitely
like that taste.
I like them more than I like before we started this podcast. I don't think I'd ever had them before. And then when I used to go over to John's apartment to record, occasionally I would try a bit of kombucha, and it's nice. I like it. It's good.
Feels like a treat.
yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I have one most days, I would say.
Yeah.
It's a pretty delicious.
Is the
stuff.
kombucha selection? I mean, it seems like it's pretty good out there.
It's okay. Calgary doesn't have. Calgary's lacking a good local brand, I would say. Like,
Okay.
There's
Because Vancouver had a few.
there's a
local
few
brands.
local brands here, but they don't have like a sort of iconic and very good local brand. I
No.
would say.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. True Booch is probably the closest, but it's not.
I like
It's-
True Booch.
Yeah, it's decent. It's decent, but it's not amazing. Vancouver has my favorite kombucha like brewer, I guess.
Right. Which one's that?
Culture Craft,
Right. Okay.
which you can also get in Calgary.
Okay.
But it's more expensive because I know the guy who runs it, obviously. So I used to buy cases from him direct, and I would
course.
get them for cheaper. So
Yeah. Of course.
it was honestly, I had it at a restaurant once, and it was really good. And I knew it was a smaller company, so I just emailed him, and I was like, "Hey, would you sell me these?"
That's such a good idea.
Wholesale, and he was like, "Sure." So
And
I
the-
buy cases.
The kombucha community rallied together.
They emulated a lot of different kombucha flavors,
Okay.
and the Foo Fighters kombucha is my favorite.
It's my favorite as well.
It's really good. But
It
yeah, my
sounds like you
birthday
had a pretty
was
good birthday, though. It sounds good.
it was low key. It was low
Yeah.
key because we wanted to. It's our first Halloween with a front door.
Yes.
so we
I want
were-
to say I'm so proud of you for this.
Thank you. Yeah, we wanted to be home for trick or treaters. We'd never really had that before. And yeah, we went full bar. I was
That is incredible.
I lived a childhood dream.
Yeah.
I remember being like 7 or 8 years old. The first house that had full bars, you were just like, this is a miracle from heaven. And I vowed that one day I would do it. It took me 30 years to do it because
Yeah.
I'm 38 now, but
It also
It's so
guarantees.
exciting.
Yeah.
it was cool.
It also
was
guarantees
cool.
you're not going to get like egged or TP'd or anything, too. Not that I feel like that happens as much anymore.
No,
but-
kids are fucking weak these
Yeah.
days. You know what I mean?
Sissies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're big sissies.
Are there,
they're not out doing anything.
Are
We
there
got a
fireworks
lot
out
though.
there?
We were nervous we weren't going to
Yeah.
get like any trick or treaters, and we probably had 80.
Wow. Did you run
So
out
it was
of
pretty nice.
bars or you got enough?
We ran out of full size bars, so we had backup because we just didn't know. So we bought like 40
yeah.
full size.
Which you'd
bars.
think would be enough, but
Yeah, we just had no idea, and
Yeah.
obviously you get nervous that you're going to have like 10 trick or treaters, and then
oh
Yeah.
no,
Is
I
that
have
you?
all this candy.
Yeah, I
left
did. You know what?
over.
I ended up not being able to be home, but then for half the night, and then so I rushed home and so I was just giving out. So I had so much candy, and it was like 7 o'clock, and I knew there were
So you're just giving out handfuls.
handfuls of candy. Yeah.
Well, I saw our friend of the show, past guest Emily Heller, bought, and it wasn't full size, but she bought, I guess, like a Costco size bag of mini bars, and there was 275 mini bars in it, and she said they got 0 trick or treaters.
Oh my god.
So many, so many.
So
Oh.
many bars. So that was the thing, is like we live very close to a couple elementary schools. There's like one that is sort of like just that's just east of here, and then there's one just like north of here. And so we kind of thought, and we see kids walking on the street like to and from school and stuff. So we thought like we'll get some kids, but we kind of thought 40 full size bars, that'll probably be enough.
Yeah.
But we had bought a backup box of candy
Right.
just in case, and then thankfully, yeah, we did need it because
Wow.
we ran.
I went
we
to
ran
the
through the full sizers.
I went to the grocery store this morning to see if because you know how like I feel like this is no longer a thing now, but it used to be you'd go to the grocery store on November 1st and they'd be like getting rid of all the huge bags of Halloween candy. And I went today and they didn't have any. And it's like, I think they're just trashing them or like saving them for something else. Like,
no. So what they're doing now is, at least from what I can tell, they actually go on sale like 4 or 5 days before Halloween because they want to get the Christmas stuff up immediately after Halloween ends. Because I went to Walmart and I should have bought them then and I didn't even think about it. But I went to Walmart probably on October 26 or 27, and all their Halloween candy was on sale.
That's fucking crazy. That's
so it's kind of the reverse. They're like rewarding you for waiting to buy candy.
Last minute.
Yeah, which they didn't used to do. It used to we punish you for being last minute.
Yeah, it was like expensive. That's crazy. You know what I was? If you had, you know, what you could do towards the end of the night is just reward children based on their costumes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Humiliate them.
Yeah.
One kid gets a big bar and one gets a small bar.
We should have done that. We should have done that for sure. Because there was some kids I gave a full size bar to, and they like didn't even say thank you, and I was like,
what?
How about I fucking anyway? I don't want to say, but their parents are right there. I'm like, what did you?
Are you kidding me though? They didn't thank you.
No, I'm not kidding you.
Were they young and maybe it was kind of like they were nervous or they didn't know that a full size bar was a big deal?
No.
That's
did you get any big reactions though? Did you get any like, whoa?
You should have killed them. You should have killed them. Just taking it way too far.
I agree.
You should have fucking killed them.
We got a couple big reactions, but it wasn't as big as I thought. Like, but I'll say this.
Yeah.
When we were kids, and I don't know if you guys had this same experience, but like there was genuinely one house that gave out full size. So it was like if you got a full size, it was like, holy fuck. Like it was crazy. And now I think it's just a little bit more common. So the kids don't have like, because I was a little surprised, I'll be honest. Part of buying the full size bars was wanting to be a hero and wanting the kids to be like, oh my God, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of them didn't, they were all grateful, but they didn't have like a huge reaction. And then, so I started looking in their like buckets and bags and stealing some stuff. No, but I started looking in and a lot of them, like they had 3 or 4 full size bars already.
Yeah.
So this has maybe just like become a thing that like more people are doing full size bars these days.
That sort of ruins it then. I mean,
it does ruin it a bit.
Yeah. Now I'm going to actually do Starburst and I'm going to unwrap them and just give them a single Starburst each, not even 2 Starburst. Here you go.
A Tootsie Roll from 2 years ago.
Just throw it at them as they leave my house. But yeah, it was interesting. Like I did think there was going to be, we definitely got some. There were some kids that were like, oh my God. And we had a big bowl and we had 8 different kinds, at least at the start of the night, so they could pick which one they wanted.
Oh my God.
So there were some kids that were just like, they loved that part of it.
Which bars did you have? What were the bars?
We had, what did we have? I have the picture right here. We did 2 boxes. So let's see here. We had the Nestle box, which for this would be, our American friends would be kind of jealous of this because these are all Canadian bars.
Yeah.
Except for Kit Kat. Kit Kat they have in America. But then it was Coffee Crisp, Aero, and Smarties.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that's a nice box. And then we had the Mars box. So it was Mars, Snickers, M&M Peanuts, and Twix.
Okay.
So those were the 8.
All right.
So which one would you choose out of those 8 if you guys were doing it?
Oh man, I feel like Twix. And not to sound all Bill Simmonsy, but Twix kind of underrated.
Twix is the greatest bar.
You think so? That's your favorite
it's
bar?
Really good. Yeah,
I like Twix a lot too.
Do you know what I did? I rifled through my candy because I got the same pack, but we got little bars.
Yeah.
I took all the Twix out for myself.
Oh, that's smart. Because the kids don't know.
They don't know.
They have no idea.
They don't know what the like.
Excuse me, ma'am. Usually, I believe this combination of chocolate bars comes with Twix.
I was gonna say, I feel like there's probably at least one kid who like knows the combos and
100%.
Like, where the fuck is the Twix? Yeah.
One Rain Man-y kid who knows all the nutritional
freaking
value
out,
of every.
That was Stefan.
That would have been.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It was. I was also surprised. There were a few like groups of kids that were like truly massive, and I figure like when we were kids, or at least the strategy for us, like I always went out with the same kind of like 3 kids.
Yeah.
And the strategy was you didn't want to go in a huge group because then people see the huge group coming and they're like, oh, fuck, I can't give all these kids a bunch of candy.
Yeah.
But we genuinely had one group of kids and there was like 12 of them.
That's crazy. I wonder.
That's crazy.
Maybe
That's
it's
like a popular group of kids. That's
I
like they
guess.
all got invited.
Yes.
Me and my best friend, we would get invited to things and then we would alienate ourselves. We'd go, no, just us.
But
and we just went us for everything.
Were they with like just them or were the parents there too?
There
or
was
like,
one parent there, I think. Yeah.
Wow, that's a thankless job.
No kidding. Well, we had one parent last night, which was kind of, I don't know if this is cool or not, but it seemed cool in the moment. But he was just drinking a beer. It was just straight up like was standing on the sidewalk, had a beer. I waved. He like did the like cheers with the can, and I was like, "Is that cool or is that
that's
like
cool.
alcoholic behavior?"
well,
I don't know.
okay.
I gave out beers to adults.
Did
one
you?
year. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that rocks.
Like the first year back from COVID, like
Yeah.
where people were like kind of like hesitant. I had a big cooler. And then I
No.
just used my
Hey, loosen
discretion.
up, you know?
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, this will make you forget about the disease that's ravaging our nation.
I was like, beer for a kiss. I'm just making out with all the people on the mic. No, but they were happy about it. They were excited because it was just like I would give it to like parents and stuff like that.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea. Maybe we'll do that next year.
They were just
That is
you know,
good. Or
They
you
were
could
excited.
you could do like sparkling water or something. Like you could do kombucha.
Yeah, just drinks
you know?
for the folks. you
Yeah.
know?
Jesse was
Sparkling
saying,
water.
yeah. Well, that's a big John
For a
thing as
sober
well.
guy like me.
Jesse was saying there were people in his neighborhood, like just kind of like they would just hang out on their porch, sort of.
Yes.
Which I don't know if that's a new thing. Or
My
if this-
friend was saying that he did that as well. My friend Pat, who you
Yeah.
know, Stefan,
Yes.
he was saying that in his
he's in
neighborhood.
in Ontario, right?
He's in Toronto.
Yeah.
And so what they did, is he said that like basically 5 of his neighbors came and hung out on his porch, but then they all brought their candy over. So it was like when a
Oh.
kid came, it was like they were getting candy from 5 houses
kinda
at
cool.
once.
Oh,
I
that's
like that.
awesome.
But then
Yeah.
it did mean like obviously, if they went across the street,
Bunch of
the
empty houses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he said that's kind of been their tradition the last few years is they just, they have a couple drinks.
I think that
and
makes
hang out on
sense.
the
I
porch.
like that. That's good. Now,
Yeah.
this is something I found out recently, but this is apparently just a BC thing. Is fireworks on Halloween? Were there any fireworks in Calgary at all?
No, that is the dumbest fucking thing.
I don't get it. I mean, now
It
it's
makes
like
no
less and
sense.
less because it's.
But
it
yes,
is
if you're listening to
banned.
this, that is a BC. You cannot buy fireworks any other time of year except Halloween.
But I don't
Really?
think you can buy
Not
them
on
in
Canada Day.
Not in Vancouver anymore.
Not on.
You can't buy the fireworks in Vancouver anymore. I'm pretty
It's
sure.
banned in Vancouver.
I think they've fully banned it now. And so
I grew
like,
up in a border town, so we used to go across to America and buy
yeah.
firecrackers, and that's
I-
the real business.
I mean,
right there.
Oh,
I do
yeah.
miss
We go
launching
down to
off like
Montana to get them.
bottle rockets and Roman candles and shooting them at your friends and stuff. And like, it's so
Yes.
fucking dangerous and stupid.
How
but so
how
much
far is
fun.
Montana?
From here, like the border's about 3.5, 4 hours.
Okay,
We
and
go-
then where's the nearest? And there's like a border town that you can
Yeah,
just go
there's
to.
Eureka's right there.
Eureka.
Ooh.
And then you can get, there's like right away. There's just a huge thing
Because
of
they
just,
know.
and they know, and it's also just like I like when things are Americanized, and it's just like you can only get a small, safe bottle rocket in Canada, and then you go across, and it's just the size of your head.
Oh, they
Yeah.
let
Big-
kids buy it.
Big
It's like
cakes, yeah.
yeah. Because I know it's illegal to bring them back over the border, isn't it? In BC, I know it is for
I'm
sure.
pretty sure it was. Yeah.
Because I can
I'm not-
remember, like, we had basically like a kid that was a dealer at the school
Yeah.
whose like parents didn't give a shit. and
Every
would just-
school had the firecracker dealer kid. And
Yeah.
it was just like, yeah. It was that to me felt like something out of like Recess or whatever. Because wasn't there the kid in Recess who had like the big like
Yes.
trench coat or whatever?
Yes,
trench
yes.
coat, yes.
The blonde kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very much felt like that. But yeah, he'd sell bottle rockets and stuff. But you could buy like air bombs and Roman candles legally.
Yeah.
But bottle rockets were the ones that were illegal because they actually shot like a
'Cause they
piece of
shoot,
something.
yeah. We would do bottle rockets, and Mighty Mites were always a big
Yes.
one too. That's where they
Yeah.
come in like the whole strip,
Oh.
and you're supposed to light the wick, and all 50 of them go off, but you can untie them
Yes.
from the wick and light them in your hand and throw them.
Yeah. Or
We would
were,
throw them down the sewer and like.
were
all-
those the
yeah.
ones
Yeah.
you could stomp on to sort of make it so they like launched? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
blowing up
I like-
pumpkins was so much fun. Oh my god, it was the best.
My family lives in Hawaii, and in Hawaii, like on New Year's Eve, everyone goes crazy. Like people spend like thousands of dollars, like every house. So my cousins and my aunt and uncle live on a cul-de-sac, and they just take turns going. So it's like a full like Canada Day, like professional, like people spend so much, and it's so dangerous because everyone's hammered.
No one knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they're fucking drunk.
No one knows what they're doing. So we were there for New Year's, and we're like, we gotta light it. And you're like, how do you light it? And my dad just handed me a tiger torch and was just like, light it and run.
Wasn't
like
it
a beer in one hand and a torch in the other? It was fun.
I think it's LA on the 4th of July. They'll always do like the helicopter shots of LA and you just see it, and it's like the entire city is exploding. And
yeah, it looks like a riot is happening.
It's fucking crazy. Yeah,
it's so fun.
I love fireworks. I mean, I now there's like no, I can't go like shoot them at a bunch of kids or something like I used to when I was
next
a kid.
time I'm back in Vancouver, let's get firecrackers and shoot them at.
I am legitimately so down. I remember. So
Dan,
like
you can come too.
Yeah, on Halloween
I'm so in for that.
We would like wander around the neighborhood like shooting off fireworks and stuff. But before we went like out, we would always like launch fireworks at like a friend's house, and like the dads would be out there like helping and stuff. And I remember my dad put an air bomb. Those are the ones that launch like super high in the air, and it's just like this huge noise. And it's not like a big. It's like a big flash and a huge noise. And it has like a little spike to put in like the dirt, right? And so he did that, and then he put like a 4-liter like plastic milk jug on top of it, and it launched the milk jug like 100 feet in the air and exploded. And it was like, this is the sickest thing I've ever seen. I've never felt closer to you, Dad.
I love that dads are still just like, no, dudes never grow up. It's the best.
That's great.
Well, and my dad is like, Stefan knows my dad. Like my dad is a pretty.
I could see him being a fireworks guy, right?
Well, but that's the thing. My dad is like a pretty high-strung guy, and he's a pretty like intense dad in some ways, and intense in a like not fun way. Sometimes like he was the disciplinarian in our house.
Yeah.
Like it was a very like good cop, bad cop thing with my mom.
Right.
And I remember. He's just not into that kind of stuff. And I remember the first year I bought firecrackers off the dealer at my school, my dad found like, I think I felt like I had to hide them from my parents. And then I can't remember how they found out. And my dad was like fucking pumped. And I thought for sure I was going to get in huge shit. And he was like, oh my God, like Mighty Mites. Like I used to light these off when I was a kid and blah, blah, like, and we literally went out, me and my dad lighting off firecrackers. And it was the most I ever felt like my dad was in a, like, he never grew up kind of phase. That's nice. The only thing that got him to do it was, and he's like, it sucks. You can't get these in Canada anymore. Like when I was a kid, you could just buy these in Canada. It was no problem. And he was so mad at the Canadian government that they banned all the firecrackers.
Yeah. M80s were just straight up like
they're
dynamite.
Bombs.
Yeah.
They're just bombs.
Yeah. But blowing up pumpkins was oh my God, that was so much fun. Holy shit.
What a time.
Those are little, the M80s are the little, like, they look like dynamite sticks, right?
Yes,
is that what they are?
that's literally what it is, yeah. And
I got on a plane because of the Hawaii thing. We had them all, we had like all those M80s in our pockets, and we had like, and I was like, we got on a plane the next morning in like a Home Alone style van, like where my uncle was like, get in the van, except for we're all adults and we're so hungover. So we all got in the van, and then we were on the way to the airport, and they're like frisking everybody. And my cousin was making a big deal about getting frisked. So they just let me go. And I got on the plane. I went to go to the bathroom. I reached in my pocket and pulled out like a little M80 that I just got onto
God.
And I was like, ah! So I just threw it in the garbage. And then I was like, I don't know if that's any better. Like, I was so panicked
That's
about
so
it.
funny. Oh my God.
And we're just going from island to island. So there like wasn't super tight security. But it stressed me out.
That was like, have I ever told the story about how I tried to bring a knife on a plane by accident?
No. Like you obviously you didn't know, you were just
I had no idea. Like, so it was a guy on my curling team. He had just moved here from Winnipeg, and I think he was, a little bit lonely, and I was kind of being a friend to him, whatever. So he gave me this like pocket knife, and it was kind of just like a way of, it was shaped like a fish, and it was a pocket knife, and he gave it to me at curling. So I just put it in my curling bag, forgot about it. And then, then we went to go get on a plane for our next curling tournament, and they were like, you have a knife in your bag? And I was like, oh my God. I mean, luckily it was just like a pocket knife shaped like a fish. So I think they could tell, like, okay, probably.
Yeah. And you just left it there, I guess, or like.
Yeah.
You can like pick it up after, I think, right? Can you?
Yeah. It was just like this moment. You definitely have this moment of like, oh my God, I'm going to be arrested. I'm going to be killed. I tried to bring a knife on a plane. And it was basically, so in the moment, they're just like, is this a knife? And they say that and your heart sinks into your nuts
Yes.
and you're like, I'm in huge fucking
Oh my
trouble.
God, yeah.
And it was basically like just trying to bring too big of a toothpaste.
Yeah,
They're
it's
like,
like,
oh
we just
yeah,
can't
it's
bring
whatever.
this.
We'll put it in a bag. And they're like, exactly what you said, Stefan. They're like, if you want to pick it up.
Yeah. I think
You
my
can pick
dad
it
did the
up.
same where it was a Swiss Army knife or something. And
Yeah.
and he goes through security. And I think he had it in his pocket even. And they were just like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, they're just like, oh yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
You probably shouldn't have that on here.
He's like, it's a corkscrew.
Yeah, I'm going to Napa.
Would
What
you be
else
allowed to
was
bring a
supposed to be?
corkscrew on a plane? Do you think?
No.
'Cause, like, okay.
That's my favorite guy at the airport is guy who just argues with the TSA guy.
Yeah.
Who's just like, they're like, you can't bring a corkscrew. He's like, what am I going to do? Corkscrew the pilot to death? Like he's just having
Yes,
a moment.
you could. You
And they're
could
like-
stab a pilot with a corkscrew.
They're
for
like,
sure.
just take it out of your, who cares,
Yeah.
man?
Yeah,
Arguing with
I
the
do
TSA
love
guy is like the funniest thing you can do. Like
I
the
love
person
it.
you are least likely to win an argument against in the
Yeah.
world.
And it's just
maybe.
like it seems like the person's kind of never flown before.
Yeah.
What do you mean I can't bring my 500 milliliter bottle of shampoo on the
Oh
plane?
my
Like
God, yeah.
they just lose their fucking. It's like, have you not been here? Like
Yeah.
we're over 20 years now since 9/11.
Yeah.
This has been the general practice.
And it's
Are
always
you
something-
confused?
It's always something you'll never use. Like it's always like a 4-liter jug of chicken bouillon.
Yeah.
And they're like, they don't sell this where I'm going. They're like, ma'am, they sell chicken bouillon in Colorado. Just get on the plane. They're irate about it.
Oh man! Speaking of chicken bouillon, let's move on to our social media updates.
What a fucking good segue. Now let's move on. It's time to discuss what popped up in your feed. Who are you following? What did you see? Sports or politics, tweets and skis, hot takes on the TL or fast food freaks. It's our social media update.
Brittany, we always like to start with the guess. What's going on your social media?
Well, I've noticed an incline in hobby horse activity on my social media, and I don't know
What?
Yeah, here's the thing: it's just gals riding hobby horse in a competition setting, and I don't know.
Now a
What?
hobby horse is
It's
like
a horse head on a stick.
It's a
It's like-
stick. Yeah.
It's
okay.
it's your nanny made you a horse on the end of an old broom.
Yeah.
And then I don't know why my algorithm has suggested this to me, but it's concerning for my
Because
own.
you don't. I mean, I could see it. I'm guessing you're not a horse girl. Like you.
No.
Yeah.
I'm
Because I could.
allergic to horses.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I could see if you were looking at other like real life horse content, and they're like, "Have you heard about horse on a stick?"
Sometimes I will watch like cow hoof trimming. I don't know.
Oh, it is
that
very
shit is-
satisfying.
I've
Yeah,
had
like-
that recommended to me a couple times, and it looks.
Honestly,
is-
get into it.
Stefan, it will make your hooves feel much better.
Yeah. Okay.
It's well because sometimes there's like abscesses in there,
Yeah.
Oh, I don't
and
like that.
I like an abscess.
What's that? It's called. Is it a farrier? Is that the
Farrier,
job?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's a horseshoe person.
Yeah.
It is
I
funny
learned that from
be-
reading a book, by the way, John. So
What was the book called?
no, I think
Old
I.
MacDonald had a farm.
Yeah. It was
And
more
on
of
that
a.
farm, he had a farrier.
It was
Clomp,
more of a like a touch
blang,
and
bang,
feel
bang.
experience with the book, and the book also made noise and stuff too. So
Right. Yes, that makes sense.
yeah.
Because I know those videos are funny too. Because I remember watching it for the first time, and people being like, "This is cruelty to the horse" or whatever, which is not. They love it apparently. But I did some research because at first you watch it and you're like, the horse can't really like having this thing like nailed into their foot, you know, or whatever. And then yeah, like a lot of horse people are like, no, they love this. This is like getting a massage or something.
Yeah.
So then
it, ju-
yeah,
it
when
just
you watch
looks
it, you're
very disturbing because it looks like they're fucking like peeling like potato skin or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And it's with like keratin and like ugh.
Well, it's
it
like
does
cutting
like
your
that.
nails, essentially. It's been described as like that's what that feels. But it's
Yeah.
also because we've domesticated animals, like horses, so they don't, and they're in like hay and like they don't wear down their hooves like they should, like that they would in the wild where they'd be running all the time, like because they're now. So now, and we've also it's the same thing with like shearing sheep and cutting cows' hooves. Like it's because
Yeah.
they're not in nature. So if we just let it overgrow, they'd
That would be worse.
It'd be worse. They never wear down, so they'd be like a little bit deformed and stuff.
Does it turn like if you don't like cut a horse's hoofs, do they just like pancake out sort of, or like what do they?
Yeah, they look like they'll like curl out almost. They
Oh.
look like those shoes that like sort of curl out with the little
Yeah,
fingers.
I wear those shoes.
Yeah,
I'm a little elf. So. I am gonna be I'll probably be putting the Christmas tree up later today. So.
Oh wow, you're going for it.
That's
I mean,
early.
look, I've done it this early the last couple of years, and also, I mean, I haven't checked Kevin Banner's Instagram yet, but I'm assuming.
Oh, it's definitely up today for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I gotta keep.
Oh yeah,
up with
he's
Kevin.
he's already been posting many memes about how his Christmas tree is going up today.
Oh, I
So
love that.
yeah, no, that's definitely happening. I Kevin Banner's old Christmas tree, which I owned, now my
Yes.
parents own. So,
Wow.
Oh my god.
because my nephew, my youngest nephew, is allergic to trees.
Right.
And so they weren't sure. Last Christmas, they kind of thought maybe it would be okay because they were like, okay, just don't touch it, stay away from it. But apparently, as soon as he got in my parents' house, his skin just like broke out.
Oh,
So
that
they were like,
sucks.
okay, we got to go fake tree.
Oh.
So, and I didn't want to bring it to Alberta with me. So my parents have Kevin Banner's old tree, and Becca and I, we got to buy a new tree.
Are you gonna get a real tree this time? 'Cause
No,
you
'cause we're
could,
not gonna
right?
be. We're not going to be home.
Oh, okay.
So
You're
we're
coming
going
back
to Becca's parents for Christmas.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so we're there for a week
Yeah.
in December over
Nice.
Christmas time. So
I-
we will be there.
I love a real tree, but it's a pain.
It's a pain.
it's like
Yeah.
you have to keep it watered. There is needles in your house for the whole
Oh,
year.
it's like a fire hazard. Like, I mean, that's literally why we're not allowed to have it in the apartment, because you can't trust anyone to just have a tree, like a dry tree like that, right? But like,
Yeah.
yeah, especially if
I
you have
kept
like
telling
if
you,
have pets
Stefan,
and
you
stuff
should.
too.
I know they used to do it in the old days, but you shouldn't have lit candles on the tree. But
Oh.
you just won't listen to me.
They did actually used to do that too, didn't they?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's fucking psychotic. That's
You
so
put
crazy.
M80s on the tree. They're red.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, but so tell us more about this hobby horse thing.
Yes.
So there are girls that are in competitions for hobby horse, right? Like, are they dancing with the hobby horse? Like, what's the?
Oh no, they're like jumping over human height horse hurdles
no.
because
Okay.
the horse isn't real.
Oh, I
I
don't like that.
I hate it. It's why we need to bully more. That's
you really have come out as pro bully.
I
in
am
this.
pro bully. Like that just keeps people in their place. No, you know what it is? It's like that. I mean, I'm of two worlds. I love that can exist because it's so absurd.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's like, and they're dressed like they're on a real horse, like they're wearing
they
a
do
helmet,
The helmet and the
And, like,
God. They do the little suit.
the little
thing.
suit, the little jockey suit. And then it's not just them, it's the audience that forms to cheer them on that I also find
Oh God! Like, is a big audience?
there's one would say there's a hobby horse community that really comes out and supports the
Do they think the women are hot? Is that part of the?
there's got to be some fetish element.
Has to be. Right?
There's like, because it doesn't make sense to me otherwise, but they're wearing things, they've got the costume, they've got the horse, they've named their horse.
Oh Christ!
And they like talk about it like, oh, I started doing this when I was 6 and it takes a lot of practice, and it's just too much. Like you can look it up. It's
I don't want to actually.
I mean, once you start, you can't stop.
This strikes me as like sort of, once it became like uncool to like Harry Potter, all the people who did Quidditch for real started doing this instead.
Yeah, it's very Quidditch like. It's Quidditch adjacent.
Yeah.
It's because it's a made up thing.
Yes. Yeah.
And people are like, and you can't like really go that fast because it's just on your human legs.
I guess also it's what's kind of funny about it to me is like, because to get into that sport, it's like prohibitively expensive. It's like so fucking expensive to have like your own horse and like
yeah.
Oh,
let,
yeah.
let alone like a good horse that is like good at that sort of thing, right? So like because you could probably get a shitty horse for a little bit cheaper, but they're not going to be able. A horse,
This horse
with, like,
is pretty ill.
curly
Well,
hoofs and stuff, and
I mean, I've been working on this other podcast, and the producer I'm working with on it is a horse girl. I mean, she's in her 50s, but she went through, her horse got sick, and the treatment cost $10,000, and then they paid for that, and then the horse still died. So they just
Oh.
paid 10 grand, and then the horse died. Then a month after that, she was on.
they came back to
horse
life.
Yes,
Hor-
and that story is coming next fall on the CW. No,
Horse Jesus.
yes, horse Jesus. And then she went on this like horse vacation. She went and stayed at this like resort in Ireland, or not resort, but like a hotel in Ireland.
Yeah.
And then you go like ride horses all day, and this horse bucked her off and she broke her leg. And that was in the span of like a month. And she's like, yeah, I'm definitely buying a new horse.
Oh
And I'm
my
like,
God.
like people they're just obsessed with it. It is like the money and all that. It doesn't matter. It's like it's a culture.
Yeah.
It's a culture.
It is.
My dog needed a tooth out, and I was like, "How bad does she need the tooth out? Like, is it hurting her?"
Yeah, can you tell me how much it's hurting her?
The vet's like, "Yes." I was like, yes.
I guess so.
Try to rally up some
I've
funds.
had a toothache for a year, and I haven't gone to the dentist.
You don't see me crying.
Stefan, what's going on in your social media?
Well, I was looking at the Wikipedia page for list of people who mysteriously disappeared last night, like 1 a.m.
Yes, I
Is
love
that a
those.
Halloween type rabbit hole? Or?
just like it is generally very interesting. So, Brittany, you're the same with Wikipedia, like wormholes. You fall down the rabbit hole or whatever. Not the wormhole, the rabbit hole, I guess.
I just hyper focus on something. So it's like if I find something, sometimes it's 3 years of my life that I just can't stop.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm on Wikipedia because they have any of the pages where it's like a list of like people or list of events or list of things, and it is. And I know this is because I'm like on the spectrum, but like I'm just like fucking obsessed with it. But like the list of people who just disappeared mysteriously is very interesting. I will also say one that caught my eye was in Thailand, you're not allowed to like say anything bad about the royal family at all, or you get arrested. Like it's like nothing bad at all. And there's a list of like notable cases of like people who've been prosecuted for that. And it's like really interesting too. Like that sort of thing is quite interesting. But what came up here, and I will say that it is like kind of, it is about someone like disappearing. It is about like a murder and stuff. But basically what happened is there was a guy who disappeared, and the city he disappeared in, I was like, that's an interesting name for a city. I'm going to click on it. And it's Skidmore, Missouri, which is like not, and I just, the opening paragraph describing it is so darkly funny to me. And it references a couple murders, and it's like there's some bad stuff in there, but the last sentence is so fucking funny. Okay, Skidmore is a city in western Nottoway County, Missouri, United States. The population was 245 at the 2020 census. The small farming community is known for the unsolved extrajudicial killing of Ken Rex McElroy, the murders of Wendy Gillenwater and Bobby Joe Stinnett, and the disappearance of Branson Perry. Skidmore also has a yearly pumpkin show. And I will say I mispronounced that because it's actually spelled PUNKIN apostrophe. A pumpkin show.
Pumpkin
A
show.
yearly pumpkin show. Which I thought was
Ashton
very
Kutcher
interesting.
comes every year and he picks one unsuspecting townsperson.
I will say and I remember I recognized the first guy's name was Ken McElroy. There was a documentary or a series or something about him as well, I think. But basically, we talked about bullies earlier. This guy was known as the town bully. He was like a huge piece of shit, like committed a lot of crimes, did some horrible things to people, and the whole town fucking hated him. And they all just like killed him. And no one ratted on anyone else. So it's like unsolved to this day, but like,
whoa, that's kind of cool.
It is genuinely very interesting. He's like a really awful guy.
Damn, I gotta read on. Maybe I'll get caught in this rabbit hole today.
Yeah,
it's like the real life version of that Dixie Chick song.
Yeah, it's really the stuff he did was like really. He's like a really bad guy. It wasn't just that he was like a dick. He was like genuinely like a horrible like.
Can you imagine though if it was just because he was a dick?
That would be
Like everyone just gets together and they're like, yeah, he parks his car on the wrong side of the street every day.
Yeah. So after he appealed the murder and got out, he went to the town's like local bar with a rifle and threatened to kill the grocer again.
Oh my God.
And then the next day, he was just shot to death in broad daylight in his pickup truck. He was struck by bullets from at least 2 different firearms in front of a crowd of people estimated as numbering between 30 and 46.
And none of those people are talking.
No.
Whoa.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's really good.
He's just passive aggressive Michael Myers.
Yeah, basically. Nobody called for an ambulance. The DA declined to press charges, and an extensive federal investigation did not lead to any charges either. Missouri-based journalist Steve Boer described the attitude of some townspeople as he needed killing. It is genuinely, yeah. So there's a made-for-TV movie called In Broad Daylight starring Brian Dennehy, Cloris Leachman, Chris Cooper, and Marcia Gay Harden. That's a pretty good cast.
That's a great cast.
And then there was a documentary miniseries in 2019.
I feel like I've heard that name before, like In Broad Daylight. I feel like I've heard that before.
I think because it was a book as well.
Right. Yes.
But yeah, I mean, just like that's a great example, I think, of like the Wikipedia rabbit hole, though, right? Like you're reading about mysterious disappearances. You click on a town name, like it's great. So, John.
Well, my social media update, very simple this week. Sometimes it's just a funny thing you see online. This went pretty viral, and it looks like it's a sign at an elementary school. And you know how they have the at elementary schools they have kind of the
this
two
one's really good.
this sort of two windows that open. So
and it's like a bulletin board kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like a bulletin board with like it looks like kids maybe wrote little sort of advice and on these little cauldrons. So it's like a little Halloween display, and it's supposed to say mental health is not hocus pocus, and then it has. Yeah, on the one side, it says spooky stats and facts in these cauldrons. The other side says resources. But because of the way that the cabinet is kind of
it's so
divided,
far away. Yeah,
it definitely looks like mental is hocus, health not pocus.
That's so funny,
yeah, this
man.
was a Ghost Esquire who posted this. And yeah, just a quick reminder that mental is hocus, health not pocus.
That's really good.
Which is really good.
I love shit like that. Like I feel like there's probably a name for it for this specific thing where it's meant to be read one way and you read it like the other direction. But I love things like this. And mental is hocus, health not pocus will be stuck in my head for a while.
Yeah,
for sure.
That was the thing, right? You just kind of see it and it's like, it's funny right away, but then it has that sort of like staying power where you're like, oh, yeah, mental is hocus, health not hocus.
I'm far more interested in what the children have written underneath.
I know.
Right, the like stats about mental health.
Or like one kid's just like, my mom's nuts.
That's one of the facts. My dad was killed in our town and nobody reported it. It's so crazy. What do we do here? Anyway, speaking of crazy things, let's move on to our block tale.
What did you tweet? You brought receipts, blocktail, woo! No longer can see that post, it's a blocktail, woo! You probably deserved it, it's a blocktail.
All right, Brittany, the floor is yours.
The floor is mine.
Yeah.
Here's the thing with my block tail. I don't typically block people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm too much of a sissy to like fully block.
Fair.
I will unfollow so they can't tell that I've blocked them. And then I can't. And it's normally just members of my family. It's comedians in their late 60s.
Yeah.
Because I can't handle like a one-sided constant reporting of people, anybody that delivers a daily manifesto.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unfollowed or blocked pretty immediately.
Yeah.
I've accidentally blocked people and then been like by just being unfit to have my own cell phone. And then have been this really matters to some people. Like have they been blocked? Who's following them on Instagram?
Yeah.
Who's not? I've like come into a show and been like, I don't know what I deserved to be blocked for. I'm like, I think I just hit a button. Like I don't.
Like people were like teeing up, like
they'd been thinking
knew
about
they were gonna see you that day at a show or whatever, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
Because I think when you send a message and you've been blocked, it's like, oh, this person has blocked you. You can't send messages to them
on Instagram. Yeah,
yeah, or on Facebook too, Messenger. They'll be like, oh, you can't access this person's information anymore. And I've had several people come up to me and be like, you blocked me, and I'm like, did I? And I'll look and I'm like, I don't have a lot of like, I know this is not helpful for this podcast,
it's
but
okay.
I don't.
Honestly, this is the least important part of the podcast. Like I say that to people and they're like, really? And it's like, yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
I don't like. Here's the thing. I'm like the anti-blocker. Like I don't
Right.
because
Have you ever been blocked?
I would never know.
You don't know.
Yeah.
I'm so not concerned about people's feelings.
Well, look, we do have
made that evident over the last hour.
I
or
don't
so,
care. Like I'm just only ever trying to be funny, and then I really don't care what the repercussions.
we do have sort of like how at like a if you need a jacket for a restaurant, they might have like an extra one for you, or like if you're trying on shoes and you don't have socks, they have like socks. You know what I mean? So you could just block Dan, or he can block you. That's sort of like that's just like the default block if you need one.
Yeah, you can block Dan's ass. You can block his ass.
You want to block
I-
Dan right now?
I dare you
Yeah,
to block
Adam and then block him?
Yeah, block his ass.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest with you. I'm I know this is I didn't come out earlier and saying this, but I run the community for the pinball forum. So I'll just- Yeah, I'll just kick him off every
Oh,
four.
this might actually be a problem.
That would
Yeah.
actually be very helpful for me. If you
I
could do
can't
that.
he can't access any of the new
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that. Fucking see.
that's
you,
what I'm
Dan.
gonna do. Yeah. I'm gonna join all the pinball
Night,
forums.
Dan. Night. Looks
Wow.
like Brittany threw a little monkey wrench in your plans.
I've already
Putting a Foo
imported a
Fighters
decent
table.
amount of tables here. I think I've got all I need.
You don't know that? I'm gonna fucking hack your shit, dude. I'm
You don't-
gonna fucking.
Oh, I'd like to
hack
see
it.
you try, bitch.
I'm gonna pull the tables off of there, dude.
The only thing you're gonna be pulling is your own. Never. Sorry.
You can
Let's-
say
let's-
penis in front of me. Dan's
You
so
think that's why Dan pulled off of that
Yeah,
one?
That is precisely why I realized that you were.
He was
in
like,
a
"There's
room
a
alone
lady
with another
present."
woman, and yeah, I didn't want to. Yeah.
I look like a 60-year-old band case carrier. You can say dick in front of me. I look like a backstage crew for the Foo Fighters.
All right, John. The only thing you're gonna be pulling is your nasty little prick.
That's
There
it.
you
I'm
go.
not. Oh.
Brittany's, and now you have to block him.
Now I gotta block him.
He's so rude to you.
Yeah, I feel assaulted.
Yeah. Well, you did. I mean, you kind of famously grew up playing like hockey with dudes. So
Yeah.
You. I mean, for you, what is a penis really?
It's. I mean, how many kids? No, don't say that. I just had to audibly.
Yeah. Audibly edit your own.
Edit my own thoughts.
That's smart.
Thank you.
That's growth.
You know what? I've really become an adult in the last hour. I feel bullying is wrong. I feel, one at a time is fine. I played hockey, and then I worked in the trades for.
Yeah.
for
So you. I
12
mean,
years.
Dan saying pulling my penis is like that's
Pulling-
basically nothing.
Nasty little prick. Actually, that's a poem I read once. I read a book that started that. way.
Yeah,
that was by
it's-
T.S. Eliot, I think. right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty long poem. A lot of people don't quite understand. The footnotes are sort of longer than the poem.
It's a novel. That's a Jack Kerouac novel.
Yes.
My nasty little
my
prick.
nasty little prick. Yeah.
It's just
We have a great listener blog this week. This is from Nick. Hello, Block Party team and guest. My neighborhood Facebook group alternates between being a nice, wholesome place, posts about garage sales, free moving boxes, or asking for advice to fix household problems, and being a sometimes racist NIMBY hellscape full of people posting Ring camera photos of people they think, quote, don't belong here, and making the most petty complaints you've ever seen. Anyway, last December, a woman in the townhouse complex down the street from us went on a huge all-caps rant about the placement of a speed limit sign in the complex. She was upset that it was too low and called the Strata members a bunch of idiots. I decided to poke the bear and replied that while she can spend her Christmas holidays any day she wishes, or any way she wishes, maybe she should relax and not have a stroke over the height of a sign. She responded, I asked our Strata for this to be fixed 4 months ago. Do you think this is an acceptable timeline? And I replied, I literally don't care. She responded by saying, I know you don't care. That's why it's taken 4 months. And I replied, how has my not caring resulted in this delay? I don't even live in your complex. I live down the street. 30 seconds later, she replied with, then it's none of your damn business. And so I replied with the classic tried and true, yes, it is, and was blocked by her immediately.
Oh, that's a classic for a reason.
Yeah. About an hour later, she took the entire post down.
Yep.
Also, before I wrote this email, I drove through the townhouse complex to check on the sign, and it's still as low as it ever was. Anyway,
that's
thank you
so
for the
funny.
laughs every week. Keep up the good work, Nick.
I feel like, thank you, Nick. I feel like given the current state of Twitter and just how fucking bad it is and how people are posting there less and less, I do feel like our next really good source of blocks will be like neighborhood Facebook groups and like what's like the neighborhood like app or whatever.
Next door.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good source of blocks. So
totally.
Yeah.
I love the I agree with you. Like it is a great classic to just be like, actually it is my business.
Especially with like maybe an older person who's not as online necessarily. To just do the yes it is or no it's not, like just throw it back in their face.
They get them so mad because they don't know that's kind of like an internet bit.
Yeah, it's great. Wonderful.
Really. Thank you for sending that in, Nick. If you want to send in a listener block, you can do so at blockedparty.com, or you can fill out the form on our website. You can also donate to the show at patreon.com/blockparty, where $5 a month gets you access to 3 bonus episodes every single month. Last week, we released the very first episode of BP D&D 3. Mike and Jesse from Your Kickstarter Sucks are joining us on a wild adventure through whatever place we're in. I don't even remember the name of it, even though we recorded it 2 days ago. Josh Burgle is back as our faithful dungeon master, and I'll say this, the first episode is exactly what you expect.
It's so funny. Dumbest... We got more done than I expected, but yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the dumbest things ever, but also very, very funny. We're having a great time. We're going to do 5 of those. So yeah.
On the Patreon. You can join our Discord too, which is a lot of fun.
We got a great Discord, and if you up your donation to $8 a month, you also get all the bonus episodes in video format. So if you want to see the video of us playing D&D, you also get ad-free episodes at that tier. There's a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, check it out, patreon.com/blockparty. And in a month, if you're a member of the $100 club, in December, we are doing the first ever BP lottery, where one of you will win your subscription back for the year. We're just going to give you $100 damn.
And for legal purposes, it's not a real lottery.
Yeah, it's not a real lottery.
We're just calling it that.
Yeah, it's a lottery, kind of like the Shirley Jackson short story.
Exactly.
The lottery. No, not exactly, Stefan. The lottery in that case is sort of the precursor to the Hunger Games. One child gets drawn and then they're killed in front of the entire town. Anyway.
Do they win any money though, or?
No. So anyway, patreon.com/blockparty. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at blockpartypod. This episode will be available in video format on YouTube at blockparty, and you can follow us on Blue Sky at blockedparty. And, Stefan, big news. We have a TikTok now.
We do.
Yes, we have a TikTok. We're Blocked Party Pod on TikTok.
Is Becca running
that? Check that out. Becca is running that. I don't know anything about TikTok.
No, I'm not. So I'm not on there.
Be clips from the show, some other fun stuff.
So,
Yeah, follow us on TikTok. I think Stefan and I will probably do some dances or something on there. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I'm going to do a thing where I show my breasts, but they're like obscured and you can like barely see them. Have you seen this thing? Jesse was obsessed with this for a while. Sorry for saying
Jesse was obsessed with breasts for a while.
Well, it was a thing where women would they'd have like a tea kettle or something, and they'd be like, "Oh, this is how you like make tea or whatever," and it's like a metal tea kettle, and then in the tea kettle for like a half second you see their boobs very briefly, and it was like the TikTok meta was seeing how close you could get to just like showing your boobs without getting banned by TikTok.
That's fun.
It sounds like something I might have to look into.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Anyway, we are now here at the end of the show. That means it's time for the top 3.
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Uno, 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 uno.
Mustard.
3.
Socks. 2. Girlfriends.
Uno, 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 uno.
Fun fact, Charlie of the Talking Poem podcast made that theme song.
Wow.
So
there you go. Thank you,
Charlie. Brittany, it is time for the top 3. What topic do you have for us?
You know what? We touched on it earlier, but top 3 Tim Burton movies. I'm in a real Tim Burton phase of my life right now.
Tim Burton.
Okay. All right.
Let me go ahead and look up Tim Burton movies on my...
You don't know Tim Burton movies?
He's just not a movie guy at all. Really, so.
I mean, I know obviously his most famous and best work, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
That is not his most famous and best work.
Oh my God.
That's sort of the joke, Brittany.
Yeah, okay, but that is a very good movie.
Sort of the joke. I know that he did Edward Scissorhands, Coraline. That might be everything I know by Tim Burton.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm looking it up right now.
Batman Returns, Batman.
The
original.
Oh, yeah, Corpse Bride. I was going to say the Sweeney Todd.
Did he do Coraline?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
Come on. He also did the music video for Linkin Park's Powerless, so I guess we already know what my number 1 is.
Okay.
Brittany, we always start with a guess. What's your number 3, please?
Number 3, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah. Great.
Okay.
I've never
Great
seen it.
choice.
I should probably watch it.
I don't think he did Coraline. I'm on Coraline's Wikipedia page, and there's no mention of Tim
Not?
Burton.
What's the thing that I'm thinking of then?
Are you thinking
Corpse
of the Corpse
Bride?
Bride?
Yeah, I guess it's that.
Yeah,
Corpse Bride.
Who did Coraline then?
Henry Selick, I think.
Who the fuck is that?
And it's a Neil Gaiman book, so maybe that's what you're thinking of.
I don't like this.
This is tough. This is tough.
Okay.
He's-
No,
He's
you're
got
good.
some classics, obviously. You know what? Number 3, I'll go with a movie that scared me as a kid, but I still really liked. But Mars Attacks.
Mars Attacks is great.
I love
because
Mars
Mars
Attacks.
Attacks was brought up earlier in the show.
Yeah,
Ah,
the
yes.
pinball table. Yeah,
Yes.
Mars Attacks is scary. Like
Mars, it's scary. It's
It's very
like
funny
weirdly overcast. Like there's
Oh,
like every star that's ever done anything at that time was in that movie.
the cast is crazy.
It's so good.
It's unreal. Yeah,
And it's so absurd and weird. I
yeah,
love it. Very
but
Tim
that's
Burton-esque.
that's my number 3. So
Okay.
yeah, John. John's
I
number
have
3 is Dark
seen-
Shadows.
I have seen.
Hot take. I actually like Dark Shadows.
Is it actually like I've never seen it? It just seemed like that was kind of like post Tim Burton doing anything good.
It was Tim Burton like doing this. There used to be like a old.
It's like a TV show, right? Like-
Vampire themed soap opera that
Right.
played in like the 70s.
right.
So
I think I've seen 4 Tim Burton movies.
really
Okay, that's pretty good.
okay.
So I gotta go.
So
So I gotta go. Number 3 is Batman,
okay.
the original Batman.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Jack Nicholson, pretty good.
Great Joker. Yeah.
Bat Dance, pretty good.
Yeah.
Overall,
choice.
pretty good.
Yeah.
That's my number 3, Batman.
Okay.
Brittany, your number 2.
My number 2, I guess, would be Beetlejuice.
Good choice.
Beetlejuice.
Haven't. That's not one of the ones I've seen, but good choice.
It's tied. I'm tied. I know you're not supposed to do that, but Beetlejuice and Addams Family are my number 2s. Like they're so good.
Mm-hmm.
They're. He created his own genre of like film. It's weird. It's I like it a lot.
Did he do Adam's Family or was that someone else too? I feel like
someone else. He didn't do Adam's Family.
was
He did Wednesday, the new Wednesday series.
Dude, he did Addams Family.
no
I
Adam's
figure-
Family was the guy who did
I'm looking at it.
Men
right
in
now.
Black,
He didn't
I
do
think.
it?
No, he's not. He didn't do it.
Yeah, it's Barry Sonnenfeld, the guy who did Men in Black. It does
There you
seem very much. It's shocking that it wasn't a Tim
It's not
Burton
him.
thing. but
Okay.
So there you go. You don't
So
even have to
I
have
don't
a
even
tie
have
for
to.
second.
I don't even
tie.
have to do it. Then
That's
I can
good.
just
Good.
go.
Yeah.
Stefan, what's your number 2?
Oh man, I think I'll go Pee Wee's Big Adventure number 2,
Oh yes, that's good.
which I think was
Yeah.
his first movie. Let me see.
Yeah.
It looked
It was
yeah,
one of his
1985.
first.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
it's-
his first movie, I think.
Well, he did
Um,
Hansel and Gretel, which is a TV movie.
and he did
In
Frankenweenie as like a short film, I want to say.
Yes, he did
Yeah.
in 1984.
84, and I remember watching that as a kid and liking that as well.
Frankenweenie.
But yeah, I mean, Pee Wee's Big Adventure. What more can you say?
Not much.
As for like your first movie too, that's incredible. So
Number
that's my
one.
number 2.
Oh, right. I'm on number 2.
Yeah.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Come
I don't
on.
think it was good. I've only seen 4.
Right, I guess you have to. Yeah.
You don't think it was good?
It was okay. I saw it in theaters. I was really excited about it, and I saw because I love the original.
Yeah.
And I saw it in theaters, and I thought it was okay. And I've never seen it since.
Okay.
But I think it was just okay. I don't think it was. You think it was really good?
Well, I liked it. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
closer to the book than the original.
Right.
I like the original because it was the original. It's Gene Wilder.
Of
But,
course.
I mean, it's Depp's version is closer to Roald Dahl's depiction.
The
of-
problem with the Johnny Depp version of Willy Wonka is it reminds me of that fucking guy we found on Cameo. who
I
would do all
know
the weird
the Depp impressions. Yeah.
We found
he
some
does-
guy, some kind of like guy doing. What was his actual name? Was it actually like Twinkie Wonka or something like
Wasn't
that?
it like
Oh, God.
was it TikTok Wonka or something or
Yeah, something like that. It was this guy, and he was it wasn't good. It was really bad, actually. It made me uncomfortable. Anyway,
Yeah.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, number 2.
Okay.
Brittany, you're number 1.
Scissorhands. Edward
Yeah,
Scissorhands.
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Classic.
Classic.
Wow.
Weird.
It's great.
Low budget.
Is it low budget?
Mm-hmm.
It feels low budget, I guess.
It was really low budget because he had, I don't know. It was like
Nobody trusted him.
and he
yet.
was filming it in this like weird little district in Florida, and it was all it was cool.
Damn.
I like Scissorhands. There's nothing like it.
Stefan, you're number 1.
Beetlejuice. I
Edward
think
Scissorhands not in your top 3.
yeah, but he has like an
That's
insane
fucking-
filmography when you look
No, he
at it.
doesn't.
Yes, he does.
He
He's got like
fucking
4
does.
good movies.
You're out of your mind.
His before like 2000,
That's good. You
like
can get mad at me.
he's got some good shit in here. Like there's anything from like 1985 to like 1996 could easily be in the top 3, I think.
Yeah.
Because you have like Ed Wood, Edward Scissorhands, both Batmans.
Oh yeah, Ed Wood. I forgot to put Ed Wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're making a Beetlejuice 2, I'm seeing here.
They are, and I'm like, I'm sure it'll be good, but it's like
I'm a little
stresses me
worried,
out.
for sure.
Stresses
But
me out.
Are they calling it Beetlejuice?
No, unfortunately, they're calling it Beetlejuice 2. But I will say Monica Bellucci is playing Beetlejuice's wife. So, I think that'll be good. I think that's very good casting. I think.
Yeah, you'd like to see her boobs in a tea kettle.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Beetle
just.
boobs. That's what it's called.
I think they will have good chemistry together. And
Is Michael Keaton coming back? As,
oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Michael Keaton is so good because
He's so good.
he's such a good actor, and it's like he's so fucking funny as well. It's crazy how
Yeah.
fucking funny he is. He's great.
Very funny.
It's called Beetle Booze. It's just how Michael Keaton's just
It's a biopic.
slumped into alcoholism and
Number 1 for me is also Edward Scissorhands. Great movie. I even own it on DVD, so that's how you know it's serious for me with Edward Scissorhands. I've probably seen it like 4 or 5 times. Great movie. Awesome, like modern fairy tale.
yeah.
Johnny Depp is great. Winona Ryder's great. Great movie.
The mom is great.
The mom is great. Everybody's great. We just have it's a great movie.
It's great.
What more can you say? Really good movie. That's my number 1. There you have it. Edward Scissorhands. I meant to say Tim Burton right then. I meant to say like, there you have it. Tim Burton movies. We did it, everybody. Brittany, we're done. We're here at the end of the show. Before
my
we go,
God.
anything you'd like to plug?
I have a new album.
You do have a new album out, yes.
It's called Break and Enter. It's released with Comedy Records. and
Very funny.
Little Robot out in Victoria. I'm really proud of this one. So listen to it everywhere, I think.
Yeah, it's very funny. If you've never heard Brittany or seen her do comedy before, you got to listen to it. It's very, very good. And where can people follow you?
They can follow me at Brittany the Comedian on Instagram, and then Brittany Lyseng anywhere else.
There you go.
Yeah,
Give Brittany a follow. Listen to Break and Enter. As for us, again, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Block Party Pod, and on TikTok at Block Party Pod, on YouTube and Blue Sky at Block Party. You can donate to the show at patreon.com/Block Party, and we'll see you back here next week. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.